Meeting to order at 5:31 p.m. And we'd like to start off things, and Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Sorry. So we'd like to start off things with a moment of silence. Amen. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is 2.3, the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Ms. Hines. If you would stand, please. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hines. Next item on the agenda is 2.4, mission statement. Again, Ms. Hines.
The mission of the Portsmouth Public School Division is to engage all students in learning that will foster academic excellence and responsible citizenship.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is 2.5, attendance. I'm calling it out and keeping it at the same time, so please bear with me. Ms. Atkinson.
Here.
Dr. Cotton.
Present.
Ms. Futrell.
Here.
Ms. Hines.
Present.
Ms. Shoemaker.
Here.
Ms. Thomas. Dr. Whitaker. And Dr. Patello.
Here.
All right, we have 2 absent. We have a quorum. Next item on the agenda is consideration of the agenda for January 5th, 2023. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, motion made by Hines, second made by Ms. Shoemake. Roll call vote, Ms. Atkinson.
Yes.
Dr. Cotton.
Yes.
Ms. Futrell.
Yes.
Ms. Hines.
Yes.
Ms. Shoemake.
Yes.
And Dr. Patello.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. The next item on the agenda is 3.1, designation of the presiding officer. I believe the chairman had a comment about that one.
Oh, yes, I just wanted to let Ms. Futrell, your first meeting, so whenever we do a reorganization meeting, the presiding officer nominated is normally the school board attorney. And so at this time, we'll just entertain a motion for presiding officer for the beginning of this meeting.
Thank you.
Could I have a motion, please?
Move for approval.
Second.
And Ms. Hines and Ms. Shoemake. Roll call vote. Any discussion on the motion? And the motion would be to appoint school board counsel to be the designated officer until election of the chair. Ms. Atkinson.
Yes.
Dr. Cotton.
Yes.
Ms. Futrell.
Yes.
Am I saying your last name correctly? Futrell. Thank you.
That one is easy.
Ms. Hines.
I got to think about it, but I'll say yes.
Well, I think I said Futrell first. Ms. Shoemake.
Yes.
And Dr. Patillo.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the election of the school board chair. And the process for the election is nominations, and then what I'll do is collect the nominations, and then there's a open vote. And so I'll go ahead and accept nominations at this time.
I nominate Dr. Cardell Patillo.
Okay? So you know that no nominations don't have to be seconded.
You just want to take
You were right there, Dr. Cotton. I'm proud.
He felt real good about it.
Any further nominations for the position of chair? Going once, going twice. We still have to roll call vote it, so I'll entertain a motion for election of Dr. Patillo unopposed as the chair.
I've moved for approval.
Times.
Second.
Oh, man, I tossed it to you. Oh, okay.
He was too busy.
You got next.
Okay.
Ms. Atkinson.
Yes.
Dr. Cotton.
Yes.
Ms. Futrell.
Yes.
Ms. Hines.
Yes.
Ms. Shoemake.
Yes.
Dr. Patillo.
Yes.
All right, motion passes, and my job is now complete. Your gavel, sir.
Mr. Carroll, you did a wonderful job.
Well, welcome back to the land of the suffering. Huh?
You can set your tent up now.
Oh, yeah, let me step in. Agenda item 3.2 is election of the vice chair of the school board. We'll follow the same process and we'll accept nominations at this time for vice chair.
I nominate Lakeisha Clue Atkinson.
Any other nominations? Going once, going twice. I consider nominations closed on the name of Lakeisha Atkinson, and I'll entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hines and second by Dr. Cotton. Any discussion? Roll call vote. I'll do it myself until we elect the clerk, right? Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Ms. Shoemate?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Ms. Futrell?
Yes.
Ms. Hines?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well.
All right. Motion passes unopposed.
Congratulations, Vice Chair.
Second year in a row.
All right, agenda item 3.4, election of the clerk of the school board. And I'll entertain a motion at this time.
I say that I move that we keep Kathy Chambliss as our clerk of the board for the foreseeable future, but for this year.
Motion made by Ms. Hines.
As long as she'll have
I
us.
second.
Second by Ms. Shoemate. Any discussion?
I was seeing questions.
Seeing none, my last roll call. Ms. Atkinson? Ms. Futrell?
Yes.
Ms. Hines?
Absolutely.
And I'm a yes as well.
Now,
Congratulations, Sister Kathy.
Everybody else, I won't nominate everybody.
Agenda item 3.5 is election of the deputy clerk of the school board. The current deputy clerk is Ms. Stewart, so I entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
I nominate Brenda Stewart to be deputy clerk of the school board for the foreseeable future, as long as she'll have us.
Absolutely.
Motion made by Ms. Hines and second by Ms. Futrell. Any discussion?
I didn't have a clue.
Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
He didn't say that.
Give it to somebody.
He didn't say it should have.
Yes.
All right. Agenda item 3.6 is for entertain a motion for the superintendent's authority at this time.
Move for approval.
Motion made by Vice Chair Atkinson. We have a second.
I second.
Second by Ms. Futrell. Any discussion?
I gotta get you in.
Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 3.7, we're entering a motion for the agent and deputy agent at this time.
Do we name them,
Oh,
or
yeah.
are we
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
for recommendations from the superintendent?
Are they already in the board docs?
Are they in board docs? I'm sorry.
Should be Mr. Faulkner, I think.
Okay.
And Dr. Burke.
Yeah.
it's appoint Mr. Falk and Dr. Bracy deputy agent for the board without additional compensation.
I move that we elect as the agent Dr. Bracy and Dr. Falk. Oh, Dr. Falk is the agent and Dr. Bracy is the deputy agent for the 23 calendar year.
Who's Dr. Falk?
Motion made by Ms. Hines.
We're going to give him an emeritus before we all
Second,
leave.
Dr. Cotton.
Speaking prophecy. We'll take that.
Move second. Where are we?
Dr. Cotton said she
Okay.
said that.
Okay.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none, roll call
We're just
vote,
going to
Madam
give you an
Clerk.
emeritus by the time it's all said and done.
Appreciate your honorary. I take that.
Ms. Atkinson? Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake?
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. All right, agenda item 3.9 will start some of our alternates and delegates and things of that sort for our different
Well, we
committees.
forgot 3-8.
Create superintendent's.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3.8, appointment of superintendent's designee. And
Yep.
the designee should be
I
Mr. Falk.
move that we consider to appoint Mr. Falk to the designee of the superintendent's designee for the 23 calendar year.
I second.
Motion's been made and second, made by Ms. Hines and second by Ms. Futrell. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake? Where'd she go?
She stepped out.
She's in the.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 3.9 is the election of a delegate and alternate for the annual VSBA convention. Before we start that 3.9, I'm passing around the committee school board organization sheet. It's pretty much the same as it was for last year, with the exception of Mr. Tillage no longer being on the board, and Ms. Futrell filling those slots where Mr. Tillage once was. If we have any discussion with it as far as any changes you'd like to see made, we can definitely do that. I certainly believe in everyone's ability, and I think everyone did a great job last year with their respective duties. I do realize with Ms. Hines with the council liaison meetings, they sometimes have them during the day while you're working, but I'll back you up. I do like the combination of you and Ms. Shoemake
Yes.
doing that, so that's okay. I wanted to keep that the same.
Yep, and as long as it's not exam season, I have a little bit of leniency. But it's when you get into the April and May where it gets a little hairy. Educators understand what I mean by SOL season.
You work one of the most important jobs in this country, so if you can't make it, please just let me know.
Yes.
I'll definitely fill in for you.
Yes, and I have a very supportive administrative team that likes for it to happen as well. So
Okay.
they like to brag every now and then.
Sounds good. All right, so I'll continue with 3.9, and so the election of a delegate and alternate for the annual convention. I have listed Ms. Thomas as a delegate and Ms. Hines as the alternate.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Vice Chair Atkinson, a second by Ms. Shoemake. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 3.10, the election of a director and alternate for the governor's school. Myself as the director and Ms. Futrell as the alternate, and I entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Vice Chair Atkinson, second by Ms. Shoemake. Any discussion?
On your sheet.
Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you. Agenda item 3.11, election of a representative and an alternate for the WHRO Governing Board of Directors. We have Dr. Cotton as the rep and Vice Chair Atkinson as the alternate. I will entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Shoemake, second by Ms. Hines. Any discussion?
Maybe.
Looks like.
Yes.
No, any discussion? No. Oh, okay. Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell? Yes. Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake? Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 3.12, the election of a representative and an alternate for CSEP. I have Ms. Futrell as the representative and myself as the alternate. Those two boards meet on the same day back to back, so if one of us can't make it, it's easier for us to be the alternate for each other so we can stay over for the next meeting.
Okay.
So I entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hines and second by Ms. Futrell. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 3.13, election of a representative for the Access College Foundation. I believe that's Ms. Atkinson as the representative and Ms. Hines as the alternate. Is that right?
Do you want the alternate?
Yes. I entertain a motion at this time.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Motion made by Ms. Shoemake,
Second.
second by Ms. Futrell. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 3.14, subcommittees and assignments. We have them in front of us. Just like to say thank you everyone again for all the work you put in last year on your committees. We had a pretty smooth year, and the school division, I believe, prospered because of your work. And I hope that we can have just a good relationship with City Council this year, and that our liaisons will definitely communicate our needs and our wants on behalf of the school division to them. And, you know,
Absolutely.
we'll stand strong for what we want. So I appreciate you all for that. And also, with all of our committee assignments, be strategic. be different, be willing to step outside the box. We can always use new ideas and fresh thoughts, so we're not tied into any boxes on these committees. So thank you all for your willingness to serve. The only thing that I had to add was last meeting we agreed, well, we know we have a vacancy on our board, so the application was put online yesterday, and it will remain online for 2 weeks to give everyone adequate time to apply. We should receive the applications back. They'll be due on the 18th. We should receive them by the 19th, which is our next scheduled meeting, and we can begin looking at those applications then, and we can schedule interviews for 1 day. We're going to do 1 day of interviews.
We're going to do interviews this time?
Yes, 1 day, and there will be interviews just amongst the board, and we're going to interview no more than the 3 candidates we choose as finalists for that.
Okay.
I just encourage that we try to avoid any private conversations with people who may be interested. You never want to be, have your name thrown out there for any kind of reason. So let the process take its place. Let those applications come in, and we'll go through those thoroughly, make the best decision according to us, and then we'll have the interviews and do that. Now I'll have Adam explain the writ of special election that we had to file on behalf of the school board.
Yep.
As the attorney, he did that today, and I'll let him explain exactly what that is.
So when you have a vacancy, and those of you that have served on the board have seen this a few times, what we have to do is within 14 days of the vacancy, we have to petition the circuit court to issue a writ of special election if certain time markers are not met, and in this case those time markers weren't met. We weren't close enough to the end of a term to be able to ride it out without a special. So today I filed that petition. I'll track it. The circuit court usually acts on it for us pretty quickly because it's a non-adversary proceeding. The clerk's office knows what to do with it. There's an order. They'll certify to the State Board of Elections and our general registrar here in Portsmouth, and Mr. Tillage's seat would typically come to an end in 2024, but the special election will be held along with the next general election, which is this November 2023. Now that special election, we'll have our interim appointment, of course. That special election will occur in 23 to fill the end of Mr. Tillage's term until 24, so it's a truncated term for that person. So that's what we'll be going through the next 24 months.
If they choose to. It is.
Just to make sure they are going to do a special election. Are we waiting?
No, the court will order the special election.
Oh, so they are going to do it? Oh.
Yeah, they'll order it.
Oh, okay.
I would imagine.
I mean, because we can.
But it will be with the general.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be in May.
Okay. All right, so.
Yeah. Because it's got, if it's over a year.
It's over.
If the MPC's
The
over a
time
year.
frame's escaping me at the moment,
Yeah.
but
I wanna say it's a year.
if it's over a certain amount of time,
Right.
and I checked it before I filed it.
Okay.
Of course you did, because you're Mr. Carroll.
And based on that, so we do have to have someone in the seat 45 days after the seat is vacated. So we're going to have that done by I believe the first week in February at our first meeting. So we'll be well within parameters for that.
And when will, and I guess because I've run in a special election and I know the time frame, the turnaround of, so the interim seat, will that end election night? And so basically we're going to look to swear in a new board member, because I was elected on a Tuesday and I was sworn in on a Thursday. So, and I was a special election. So what is that time frame at the, and I know I'm picking.
You were probably a special election in a non-general election cycle.
Like in February or
No, I was
you were
November.
Oh, she's November with us, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to the clerk. Typically, those terms don't begin until January 1st, 2nd.
It used to be.
Well, with the special election, because the person who's actually filling the seat doesn't have a term.
Right.
Their term is only actually until the special election day. That's why a seat is vacated at the election day. So, yeah, she'll have to be sworn in, or he or she has to be sworn in. Pretty much right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because I've been there.
No, I just remember from when she ran, we were running together. That's how I remember that.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm senior to you by what, like 6 weeks.
6 weeks, something like that.
6
weeks. Yeah, you're the oldest person on the board.
Shh. Most senior.
Let's go.
I think you and I are the only ones that are here that went through Dr. Bracy's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
The terrible threes. Oh, no. We've been through it, man.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
So if there are no other questions about the agenda review, about the discussion for subcommittees, the next agenda item is 3.15, agenda review for January the 19th.
Have you been keeping up with us?
It's listed in board docs. And of course, if you have any other agenda items you want to add, feel free to email myself and Dr. Brace so we can get those put on the agenda at that time. Does anyone have any other questions or comments?
No.
And I'd like to recognize our alternate student representative who is here with us on tonight. And I mean, thank her for coming. You have anything you need to say?
Hi.
What? I guess we have to have a closing theme song, I guess.
I would like to. I'm good. You want me to? I would like to ask for one update, simply because it's been out there for a couple years.
Okay.
Electronic sign deployment at our schools.
Okay.
I drive past Simonsdale every day, and I still, when it rains, it doesn't work, and when it's not raining, it's working. And so, if we can get an update on the electronic signage at our buildings,
Okay.
School iPad.
that would be appreciated.
So we'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting
Okay.
on the 19th. Anything else? All right.
All these are.
Seeing that no other comments or
Some of them are self-explanatory.
consider this meeting adjourned. Thank you all so much.
Resolutions.